Leadership is a very difficult term to define. There are many intangible aspects to it. Well, Subir Ghosh is in conversation with Debashish Chatterjee, the author of Other 99%, with his interesting takes on leadership. Subir, over to you.
Thank you, Tuhina. We have with us today an eminent thought leader in the field of leadership, Dr. Debashish Chatterjee.
I'd like to start by asking you a very basic question. What is the difference between leading and managing?
Leaders are fairly non-linear in the way they create value. Managers create value pretty much in terms of what they've been asked to do. Here is a job description, here are resources, and you optimize resources based on the know-how or technique that you have. At best, you make some linear extension. You see, these fingers don't talk to each other. They're bound by their own, they're rooted in their own silo or context. But this thumb talks to each one. It can talk to each one of these. Besides, it can stand apart and view the whole thing from outside. It can come together. And so leaders are fundamentally in the scheme of evolution. They are not in the scheme of a mechanistic way of doing things. See, a leader would ask, not what I should be doing, but what I should be doing in what manner that it adds exponential value to the context of my action. All right. And so that value creation can only happen when you have a mindset or a mind space, to be more precise, that's not co-opted by your job description.
To what extent, according to you, can leadership be taught, or are leadership characteristics ingrained in a person's nature?
I fundamentally believe that leadership can't be learnt in a classroom. It is actually learnt in the context of work. Okay, the classroom can give you ideas, information. Now, if you ask me how far this can be taught, the answer to the question is, it can certainly be learned in a context. Now, I'm going to share with you a story that will make it abundantly clear. I was in Uttar Pradesh, and I met this elderly gentleman from a village, and he was an UNESCO official who was asking him a question, and the question was, tell me one of your most important stories about leadership. This was asked in Hindi, but his response was, see, I remember, this old man is saying, I remember this young guy from a city comes to my village, he comes with a bicycle, and he has to cross a bridge that is made up of the trunk of an old tree that is dead. Now, in those villages you have those temporary bridges, right, made of basic natural stuff, and from superficial view the trunk of the tree looks slightly fragile. So the man from the city, young man from the city, is kind of tentative about the journey. He says to the old man, he's asking, is it a safe bridge to cross through? Can I go through this with my bicycle, on my bicycle, without breaking it? Will I fall down? He's doing the equivalent of market survey. And the old man says, hundreds of people have gone through this. Whether you will go through this or not, don't ask me, ask yourself. You idiot, you ask yourself. And there you get an answer. Can leadership be taught? Well, surely. But can it be taught to everybody in the same manner? Surely not, because it's a largely contextual thing. Okay. And so how can it be learned if it can't be really taught? It can only be learned in the context of your specific work. Okay. And so what leadership means is that you already have a diamond, and the diamond has to be polished, it has to look, it has to reflect intelligence in the form of light. All right. And so you have to kind of allow the mind and the body, that is the basic equipment through which you learn. You learn through the body, embodied learning, and you learn through the mind. And once you illumine the body, illumine the mind, and once you create new perceptions through the body, then leadership can be learned.
What, according to you, characterizes good and effective leaders? What kind of behavioral attributes do they display?
Say that it's almost like asking, what are the characteristics of a mango that will tell me it's a good mango? Or what are the characteristics of a rose that will tell me it's a good rose? No, I can't tell you, beyond the point. No, what is a good mango depends on the interface between the mango and the person who will eat the mango. So to tell you what a mango tastes like, and I can tell you as much as I can, but until you eat that mango, you would not know. So these behavioral or characteristics or traits, they can come in multiple shades. I can tell you, compassion is a good attribute of leaders, but if you apply compassion in the wrong place, in the wrong manner, with the wrong intensity, then that compassion does not work. Okay? So how does these so-called behavioral traits or characteristics actually define this whole thing called leadership is very difficult to say.
Well, what is your opinion of the commonly made observation that horses for courses? I mean, that different kinds of people are required to handle different challenges that arise in the history of a company.
Management is about dealing with the clock. Leadership is about dealing with the compass. A clock gives you a sense of what you achieve in a given time. A compass gives you a sense of whether you are in the right direction or not. Fundamentally, that's what the difference is. Besides, whereas managers operate within the boundaries of a system, leaders operate on the whole system.